all of us, maybe we get the theory, but almost all, some leaders get the theory but cannot apply this theory in the real work and real life. But when it comes down to details of crafting strategy, they rapidly get bogged down and cannot apply the right strategy in their organizations. It's not surprising to do this. It's not surprising to do this. It's direct consequence of confusion about what is the strategy and what not, and is not. What is the strategy is and is not. So today we'll know what is the strategy and what is not the strategy. So the definition based on Harvard Business School, the strategy is a set of guiding principles that when communicated and adopted in the organization generates a desired pattern of decision making. So the strategy is our desired pattern that will help us and help all the organization to find the way to make the right decision making. A strategy is therefore about how people throughout the organization should make decisions, how we will make decisions, how all the employees make decisions. Based on what? Based on our strategy. The strategy, there is something that in our organization defined for all. It's all the employees and all my network integrated and engaged with this strategy will take the decisions and take the priorities and take actions based on this strategy. How we will allocate resources, how we'll use the resources and utilize the resources of our company based on the strategy in order to accomplish a key objectives. So we have the strategies to achieve the objectives, but this is the method. The strategy, it's the method to achieve these objectives. So this is the strategy. This is the theoretical meaning of the strategy. But what is the strategy? Strategy is not. We need to know what is the meaning that we need to avoid to miscommunicate the strategy with our employees and inside our organization. A strategy is not the mission. There is a difference between the strategy and the mission. The mission, what the organization's leaders wanted to accomplish, what we do, and what the organization needs to do now to achieve the vision, to achieve the vision in the future. So the mission, it's something that the organization needs to do. The strategy is not the value network. The value network that the organization has, the web of relationships with suppliers, customers, employees, and investors within which the business co-creates and capture economic value. The network is everything and every relationships with my organization to achieve and to get and capture economic value. It's not the strategy. Vision, the vision, it's the inspiring words that we publish for our people to know why they are working and what the organization mission and goals will be achieved. But the strategy is how all of this, how the resources should be allocated and accomplished the mission in the context of value network, how the resources will be allocated in the right way to achieve this mission and to achieve the vision. So the strategy is the method that we integrate all of this. So together, the mission, network, values, strategy, and vision define the strategic direction. So how we define the strategic direction inside our business? By defining the missions, define the visions, the strategy, and the network. And they provide the what, who, how, and why necessary to powerfully align action in complex organizations. You can develop a strategy for your business without first thinking through a mission and goals. Likewise, you can't develop a strategy in isolation from decisions concerning the network of partners with whom the business will co-create and capture the value. By focusing on all four elements, the mission and strategy and vision, and sequencing them in the right way, the process of crafting a strategy can be defined in the right way. So the strategic direction, it's important to define the four values and align all of them together to find in the end the right strategy and the right strategy that will draw up our future in the organization. So now we defined what is the strategy. We know what is the strategy meaning, and we know now it's different. It's totally different than a mission and vision and values. And we know that together will draw up our strategic direction. So let's back. Why we need the strategic management? We know now that the strategy is something important, but we need to know why we need the strategic management. There's a Japanese saying that when you are dying of thirst, it's too late to think about digging a well. We need to know we are late or not. We need to be not late. We need to be have the right decision now. So how we can get the decisions without the strategy, and how we can define a strategy without the strategic management. So this saying exalts the importance of strategic management to success in any endeavor. Any endeavor needs to have strategic management regardless of the organization size, regarding the external environment and policies and something like this. Because with the strategic management, we will have the will before we dying of thirst. The planning, we need the planning in everything in our life, and many of the steps we take in the life require the planning. Of course, it's possible to do something about anything without first planning for it, but it will take we will take a risk without a planning. We need the planning to avoid a lot of amount of risks. So the planning something important. So the strategy management, first thing in the strategy management is the planning for our strategy. So let's talk why we need strategic management for our business. First thing, the planning. Planning is the first thing that we need to do with the strategic management. It's this is an essential management tool for any company. Need to be used instead of the simple planning process. We cannot do the strategy management or strategic management without planning it with the framework, with something based on standards, not with the simple planning processes. It should be based on the standard. Second thing, the forward thinking. The strategic management will help us to draw up clear long-term goals, distinct idea of how to move forward, how we will move forward based on the strategic management. We will know how the organization's overall growth will be done. Resources allocation. The strategic management will help us to ensure the company's resources are used wisely and invested in the most promising opportunities. The last thing and the most thing is important is the environmental impact. With the strategic management, we will know how your business, how our business impacts the environment, and vice versa, how the environment impacts us. Study the external business environment accordingly. So now we can define the strategic management. We know the importance of the strategic management for the business environment. We know that help us for the planning, for the allocation, resource allocation, for the environmental impact. So the strategic management involved with the formulation and implementation of the major goals and initiatives taken by the organization's top managers by managing the organization's resources to achieve its goals and objectives. So by the strategic management, we will do the strategy and will help the top managers to achieve the goals and objectives. Strategic management involves some set of things. Setting objectives. First thing in the strategic management will help us to setting our objectives. Analyzing the competitive environment. This is something that we said before, the environmental impact. Analyzing the internal organization. We will need to analyze the internal organization in the right way. We will follow the strategic management process. Evaluating strategies, how we will evaluating the strategies, but after we do the strategy, how we will evaluate it. All of this in the strategic management. Ensuring the management rolls out the strategies across the organization. That all the strategies we will do, it's aligned with everything in our organization. When we do any action inside the projects, inside the initiatives, inside any action or decision inside our organization, it should following the strategy. This is how we can ensure this by the strategic management framework and strategic management processes. So the strategic management framework, it's mainly we will have the purpose and values and the vision and mission. We should have all of this before we starting talking about the strategy itself. Then we will have two main phases, the formulation and the implementation. For how we will go for the strategy formulation. And then after we formulate the strategy, we will go for implementation and implement what we already defined inside our strategy. In the formulation, we will start with analysis. And by analysis, during the analysis, we will have the remote external environment. We are starting with the remote external environment, competitive analysis, and we know the marketplace, who the competitors, what is the policies that affect us. All of this we will do in the analysis. Then we will do the industry environment analysis. All of this we'll do it in the formulation first before we settings any goals, before we settings any objectives. We need to analyze the remote environment, the industry environment, and the internal environment. So this is the first thing. Then we will go for the strategy formation. The strategy formation to define the strategy itself and define the hierarchy and the structure of our strategy. Then the goal settings. We will set the objectives, set the goals, set the measures. If we have scorecards or something like this, we will do it in this phase. So during the formulation, we will apply the analysis, apply the strategy formation and goal settings. Then after we done all of this, we will go for the implementation. The implementation, we will start with the structure, organizational structure and leadership, who will be the owner of any part of the strategy. Then we will go for the apply the strategy. How we can apply the strategy by starting apply the initiatives, projects, programs, investments. We will apply the measures that we will do on our performance. Then we will have control and feedback. control and feedback to know what the strategy benefits that we already done. If we have any problems during our current strategy, we will back and analyze the environment to know what we need to change inside our strategy. So this is the framework. It's not easy to understand the framework from one session or to apply all the standards. This is why we need something, or need a tool to help us to make sure that we are following the strategic management framework. So to simplify the stages and the process, we have 5 stages, or 5 main stages of the strategic management process. First thing is the goal settings. The first part of strategic management is to plan and set your goals. Set the short and long-term goals of the organization and make sure that these are shared with all members of the organization. It's so important to know what is the goals of your organization, and to make sure all the people inside the organization are engaged in the strategy and the goals that you already set. Then after goal settings, you will start with analysis. During stage of the analysis of the process, it's important to gather as much as you can information and data. This information will be integral to creating your strategy. Without this data and information, you cannot define the right strategy. So the analysis is the second process. The formation. In this strategic management step, you will use all the intelligence and data you have gathered to formulate the strategy that you will be reach whatever goal you set. So during this step, you will use all the data from the analysis to format your strategy, and also to seek out other resources you will need to set up your strategy. Once the strategy is determined, the goals and measures may be established to chart a course of for the organization measures performance and control implementation of the strategy. Tools such as balance scorecard will be, and the strategy map will be important during the formation and the implementation, and we will talk about these tools in the next slide. Strategy implementation. This is what we already done in the previous steps. We will apply it in the strategy implementation. We will apply the strategy, what we already done in the strategy, and what the goals that already set on the strategy implementation. The initiatives and the projects that we will do. It will be it will follow the strategy and follow the goals of the strategy and strategic objectives. Then the monitoring. During this stage, your strategy will ready be in play. It will be played. At this point, you should be managing, evaluating, and monitoring each part of your strategy, and ensuring that it aligns with the end goal. So, by monitoring all of these processes, we will make sure that we are in the right track. So if we find any problems, we can go back and start again to setting the goals, start again with analysis. We'll go back to fix something in the strategy formation. So monitoring will help us to make sure that we are in the right track. So these are the main stages that you should follow to done the strategic management in the right way. So We now know the steps of the strategic management processes, but what is the principles? What is the principles that will help us to know that we are doing the right strategic management? First thing, in a very base level, the strategic management should be articulated. People want an articulated plan for their organization. What I mean by that, I mean the mission, to define a mission, vision, goals, and objectives. And then to call it a strategic management, you should analyze the external environment and bring an external data. This is what we done strategic differentiation. Inside the strategic and the differentiation, we need to what will be differentiated against the external competitors or the external environment. Then the organization engagement, how to drive an organization engagement by cascading goals. These goals should be cascaded for everybody in the organization, should be aligned with a piece of the strategy. Everything done inside the organization should be aligned with the strategy. Every employee inside the organization should be aligned with a piece of the strategy. Then we will go for organization transformation. After we have articulated plan, strategic differentiation, organization engagement, we make sure that all the organization engaged with the strategy. We will go for the organization transformation. How we will transform our organization and make sure that our organization going to the right way and right goals. And what we have in this slide, we have the standard principles, but all of these processes might fail if we are not monitoring the strategy execution by a specialized tool. We need a tool that makes sure that we are following all of these steps. We cannot make all of this by manual steps or manual tools. So that's why we need the digital transformation for our organization to make the right strategic management processes. So that's why we need to find the solution. The SMOs inside the regional and public and private sector organization are focusing on the strategic role of digital SMOs and VROs. SMOs, we mean the strategy management office that will be responsible to manage the strategy inside the public or private sector organizations. The core division is set to realize sustainable transformation of strategies into reality and achieve integrated performance programs and excellence. This offices already defined to transform the strategies in the real work. This is what we said. This is the need. We need the solution that helps the SMOs and VRO leaders. A strategy management platform, Strategy360, is the strategy management platform that simplifies the process of strategy design, execution, and control. It enables SMO and VRO leaders to navigate an integrated digital experience that crafts sustainable performance excellence in accordance with two global frameworks, AFUKM and Balanced Scorecard, or hybrid mode. So our solution is a Strategy 360. It's defined to help the SMOs and VRO to digitalize the experience of strategic management, to be digitalized, to be automated, and this will be done with a lot of frameworks that already applied and Strategy 360 fit with. like FEQM and balance scorecard, or with the hybrid mode that will allow the offices to do it with a custom mode. What does Strategy 360 do? So we find the problem and needs for transforming the SMOs or the VROs from the real work to the automated process. So the first thing is automate the strategy processes. So Strategy 360 will digitalize everything related to strategies, that is people, processes, resources, business rules, in a smooth flow based on approvals, automated process, full automated process. Second thing, plan and cascade and align strategies. How, if we have a lot of strategies and set of strategies, how we can be how can cascade all of this and cascade all of our objectives by the tool. It will help us to do this. Set performance KPIs. The tool will help us to set the KPIs, the performance thresholds of every part of the process using a dynamic color-coded KPIs using a formula builder. You can set up the KPIs using a formula builder or using extracting a data from a third-party system, or by define sub KPIs that will define the performance of the KPI by the performance aggregation. Then we have another thing, monitoring and assess in a real work. Leverage easy way to know the quality, status, and health of the flow and the progress of your strategies, objectives, and initiatives. How you can know that all things is done in the right way. By Strategy 360 can help you to do this. Keep team alert. The Strategy 360 have a notification center that will notify everything everyone related to anything inside the strategy will be alerted. Receive notifications on all levels, KPIs, projects, objectives, initiatives, anything will be notified through the email or mobile application, and this will help all the team to be collaborated. So another thing, the collaboration and documents. Everything will be documented, and you will have a document library related to any piece inside your strategy. So any objective, all the related documents, it will be centralized inside the tool. You can find any document. You will make sure that the tool collaborate everything with the related people. Capture intelligent insights, and this is a very important part inside the Strategy 360. Sorry, to capture the intelligence insight and see what is happening at any given point in the time via clear, attractive, and interactive intelligent dashboards that show in-depth analysis and insight on all strategies. So through these dashboards, you will make sure to find any information, the insights about the performance of the strategy and projects and objectives, any part inside your strategy. So why is the Strategy 360 the right business solution? Centralization and the standardization. We make sure you will be sure that you following the standards. You will make sure that the system will be guarantee for all the organization divisions and departments and employees that everything is a standard to achieve the strategy. Built-in strategy frameworks. There is a built-in strategy frameworks that will roll out your digital strategy easily and quickly. And this will help you to follow one of the standard frameworks like AFUKM or Balance Scorecard. Visually, strategy maps. You will find the strategy maps and this strategy maps will help you to find all the performance indicators. Then you have the EPM and BPM solution integration. You will integrate with external solutions to get the data related to the strategy, and you can find the way to fill the gap between the SMO and the organization at all. Why we are the right technical solution? We can fast roll out, easy to use and configure the application. It's already the latest usability principles are applied, unlike the other solutions. So it's easy to find anything inside the solution, and it's bilingual, Arabic and English. So it's easy to fit with all cultures. The solution is available for two capacities. It could be an on-cloud or on-prem. On cloud, it will be used for Azure. So we can start the Strategy 360 journey by the demo now. So, but before, I need to recap our talking about the corporate profile quickly. Who we are. We are a global technical solution leading the digitalization of private and public sectors. Founded since 1996, 20 years plus ago. We operate in plus 24 countries through 5 offices in Cairo, Alexandria, Dubai, Riyadh, and Rome. We have more than 600 employees. We have more than 20 business and technology partners. We already gold partners for Microsoft. Growing portfolio and technical solution. We have on-site and offshore and outsourcing modules that guarantee the support for our clients and customers. Innovation and R&D offices that help us to already keeping on track. Great experience in fields like healthcare and telecommunication and finance for the public sectors and private sectors. And we already awarded before from Microsoft as Microsoft Partner of the Year at 2016. So after we talked about this, we can go for our demo directly. So now I will start the demo from the Strategy 360 tool. I know we talk a lot about the standards and what we should have in the strategic management process, and this is important to know how is the tool covering everything and covering all the processes inside the strategic management processes. First thing, we'll start with the strategy creation. The tool will help us to create the strategy and create a specific cycle for your strategy. It's bilingual and you can define the names in English and Arabic. You can define the cycle of year, and you can define the type of your strategy, and you can define an owner for your strategy will be responsible, or set of owners will be responsible for this strategy specific. The strategy definition will be, or creation will be done on 3 steps, the details and metadata. Then you can, by this dynamic tool, you can go for a strategy structure, how to build your structure. This is one of the important steps in the tool, and one of the interactive tool inside our tools to start to build your strategy with the dynamic N levels. You can define the strategy in any ways. You can, if you go to define a strategy for your organization overall, you can define another strategy for your department. So on all ways, you can define a different strategies with different structure. So it's totally dynamic by adding a levels, n number of levels. You can up to 10 levels inside the strategy. In each strategy, like this example, we define the strategy level called department. You can define objectives inside the department, and you can define another classification levels under this this strategy. So from here, I built the strategy structure by building the strategy called Vision 2030, and we have department, teams, chapter, squad, and each one we can set and define objective for it, and we can define many departments and can define many teams. So this is the second step to build your strategy structure. Then the thresholds. You can define the different thresholds on all the levels. So this is one of the important things, that we cannot judge all the levels with the same way. So the tool will help you to define a different thresholds inside the vision level or the strategy level, inside the second department, or the second level. So you can make sure that each one evaluated in the right way with a different thresholds monitoring. After creating the strategy, we will have this view. We can the Strategy360 will help you to find all the strategies that you have from here, and you will find the latest strategies that currently done inside this cycle. You will be able to view the strategy in different views. One of them, the strategy hierarchy that we already show now. And we have a strategy map, a strategy KPIs, and the strategy initiatives. First, from this view, you can find all the performance for any piece inside your strategy. You will find the performance, the overall performance for your strategy. You will find the threshold and the RAG indicator, how the strategy is going, and you can find the levels. You have 8 departments. What is the performance of each department? You can find inside each one of these departments what is the performance inside each one. And you can find the objectives defined for any level, and how the departments done or interact with the objectives. How it's what is the impact of these departments inside each objective. So you will be able to find the objectives, the performance or the achievement percentage of this objective, how we already doing against this objective. You can find the number of documents, and you can find the tasks that that related to these objectives. This is one of the collaboration tools that helps the team of the strategy to be collaborated and communicated with the tasks during the strategy cycle. And the most important components, the KPIs and the initiatives. Any objective, we have strategic objectives, and any objective should be done by initiatives and KPIs. How we can do objectives without actions. The actions here is the initiatives, and the initiatives will be done, and we can monitoring through the Strategy360, and the performance will affect the objective, and then all the performance of all objectives will be cascaded to affect the strategy overall. And we have a KPIs that we we can define the impact the KPIs on the objective as well. And the KPIs will measure the performance of the projects. Maybe it's measuring the performance of another actions not included inside the initiatives, and will have a tool to define the impact of each KPI or each measuring tool to affect the objective. From this view as well, we can find all the levels. So you can find the first level, and you can find inside each one of these departments, you can find the next level. It's called here the teams. Maybe in your implementation could be another name. For each team, you can find the performance and can find the objectives as well from the same view. So from the strategy hierarchy view, you can find all the information and you can get overall picture of your strategy. Second view that Strategy360 provide you, it's a strategy map. And the strategy map, one of the balanced scorecard framework tools that you can find and engage all the employees or the organization to find the performance of applying the strategy. And you can define the mission and vision here. You can define your main goals, and based on the standard perspectives like a customer, like financial, like internal processes, and organization capacity, you can find your objective, the related objective. So from the customer, if we are public sector, so we interested in the customer in the first level, so you will find what your objectives go against the customer perspective. And you can find the performance of your objectives for each one of this perspectives. So in the financial, you can find here that you are down and there is a problem. So you can find what is the objectives related to this perspective, and you can find for each one the initiatives that already in progress or KPI that measuring this objective. From this view, you can monitor all the performance and the overall performance and the performance of each part in your strategy. We, the Strategy360, applying this view with templates that you can choose. You can choose the template that you can follow the four perspectives, the main four perspectives, or you can rename it, or you can have a 5 perspective, or you can add another classification called the themes based on the standards of balanced scorecard. Third view, we have strategic KPIs. If you need to find all the strategic KPIs that you defined inside the strategy, you can find all of this from here. You can find the performance of each KPI, the actual value and target and baseline, the direction of this KPI with the threshold RAG indicator, the impact of this KPI against the strategy, and you can view the KPI. We will go for the KPI now and the initiative, but after we finish all the views. And the Strategy360 apply for you another view and filtration criteria that you can find all the KPIs based related to a specific goal. From here we choose all, but we can find the KPIs related to a specific objective. Then strategic initiatives. From here you can follow up on the initiatives. We mean from the initiatives here that we have projects, actions, or initiatives that working against the strategy and affect the strategy performance. So from here you can find the status of this initiative. You can find if it's on track or if it's delayed or on track or very delayed. You can find the cost of this initiative, the budget that already set for this initiatives, what the actual progress, and what is the plan for progress. You can find the owner of this project or this initiative, and you can find the impact. And from here as well, we can integrate with another tool. We have another tool called Project 360 that we can import all the projects from your Project 360 tool, or we can integrate with any EPM solution you have. If you have any enterprise project management solution in your premises, we can integrate with this to add all the projects and get all this information without adding it from Strategy 360. So it will be totally integrated. So let's back to a strategy hierarchy, and let's go for one of our objective and see what we can find in the objective page. Like we said already, we talk about the objective, and the objective, it's a core component that affect everything, that affect the level, that affect the strategy, that affect the overall strategy performance. So inside the objective, how the objective performance calculated? It's calculated based on the KPIs that related to this objective, the initiatives that related to this objective. We have a tool for collaboration for tasks. If we have any tasks not affecting the performance, but we needed to organize our work, so we can do it by the task module, that you can add new task and assign for one, and there is a SLA for replying this task. This is one of the tools, and we have a centralized document library that showing for you all the documents related to this this objective. So from here I can see all the KPIs. If I open any of these KPIs, I can find all the details related to the KPI. I can find the metadata. I can find the details of the KPI, like we have all our totally defined KPI module that you can find the KPI frequency, you can find the direction, you can find the actual value, you can find international benchmarking. There is a benchmarking fields that you can set the benchmarking values. You can find the cumulative target, and you can find the unit. From here, we can open the creation form from the KPI to show for you what is the all capabilities that we have in this area. You can define the name for the KPI. You can define the direction, if the KPI up or down based on the KPI business. You can define the frequency of the KPI, if it's yearly or quarterly or monthly. You can define the unit, if it's percentage value or the number, the unit of actual value. You can set the owner or responsible for this KPI. You can define the Arabic and English description, and there is a multiple attachment module. From here as well, you can define the aggregation method. We have to define the aggregation method to define the cumulative value. I need to see the performance of the strategy at this moment, but I need also to find the cumulative performance of the strategy. So to define the cumulative performance, I should start with the KPI cumulative performance, and this will be based on the aggregation. We have the aggregation, maybe if summation of values based on the business of the KPI, maybe it's average of values or minimum or last value. Sorry. Then last thing, the calculation method. Maybe I have the calculation method by the final result. I can define and set the final result of the KPI, but maybe I want to set equation. This is one of the most interactive tools inside Strategy 360, that you have a formula builder, totally formula builder. You can define the variables, and after defining these variables, you can build your equation, and you can test this equation before submitted. So you can make sure that you have equation with up to 10 variables to calculate your KPI, and this will help you in the future, that you no need to calculate the KPI final result. You just can submit and insert the values of the matrices or the values of variables, and the system will use the calculation method or the calculation formula to calculate the KPI actual performance. Last thing we have in the KPI capabilities, KPI module capabilities, you can ask the system to define the KPI as needs approval. So if you have needs approval, that there is a workflow that will help you to make sure that the user should take approval before submit the actual value, and the objective owner should approve this value before affect the overall performance. So after doing this, you will find here the KPI details page. You can find the KPI information, what is the type of KPI or frequency. You can find the direction. You can find the achievement of the KPI, and you can find set of charts that helps you to define the KPI achievement status. And there is a comparison between the last year or the last actual value you have. You can find the KPI against the KPI benchmarking. So you can find all the benchmarking comparison with the international and regional benchmarking. You can find the KPI performance history to recap all the information about the performance of this KPI during the all the years or the frequencies. Then you have another thing here, that we have a workspace inside the tool. The workspace that will help the people inside the SMO team or inside the strategy team to find all the data related to them and all the parts that assigned to them to manage. Then till this open, we have a set of dashboards, a set of interactive dashboards that will help the leaders to find the insights, the right insights of the performance of the strategy. So there is a dashboard for the strategy map that you can find the performance of each level of your strategy. You can find the related KPIs and related projects in a quick view. You can find the insights, the overall insights about the start date and end date, the cycle year, and the number of KPIs, the number of projects. There is another view or another dashboard that helps you or helps the leaders to find the insights about the business units against sorry, the performance of business units against the strategy, and each business unit and related projects, and the performance of each project, what is the planned and what is the completed progress. And the same for the strategic objectives. You can find the performance of each strategic objective, and you can find the KPIs of each strategic objective, the number of KPIs related, and the status of each strategic objective performance. The last thing I need to show for you, the mobile application that comes with the Strategy360. You can use it in English and Arabic, and you can find all the things that you can do from the web version. You can do it from the Strategy360 mobile app. In this areas, the actions and tasks, you can assign a new task and can assign a task for one of your team members. You can follow the performance and view the performance of each level, and you can find the objectives, and you can find each objective KPIs and follow up on the KPIs performance. You can set an actual value for the KPIs or a set target for KPIs. You will be able to find the projects, and you can see the details of any projects, and what this project is related to one of the objectives. So you can find which objective affected with this project and how the project affect this objective. You can find all the information, the KPIs related to this project, the project lists, the risks of this project, the issues, deliverables, all of this integrated inside the mobile app, the documents related and related to this project. So from this mobile app, you can find everything like the web version. And as well, you can find the notification center and dashboards links to make sure that you can define and find all the parts inside your application and inside your strategy process. Inside your strategy process and inside your strategy process cycle, and make sure that you automated all the parts, and you can define all the puzzle parts to define overall view for your strategy. So Strategy 360 will guarantee for you that you will follow the strategic management framework processes, and you will follow the right way to make your digital transformation. Thank you so much, and I'm already done with all the parts of the Strategy 360 tool, and I hope I defined everything. I know it's 1 hour. It's not the big time. I can show you all the things inside the tool, but if you have any questions, I can answer for you now. Okay, Mr. Ahmed Ragab asking if I have users who are doing data entry in Arabic and English. The system is bilingual, and you can define everything in Arabic and English. It's supported from the tool. Even it's the data of the KPIs or projects or anything, you can do it in Arabic and English. Second question is what will be the impact on the formula calculation. When you define a formula calculation, you will be able to just set the value of the variables. You're not responsible to calculate the KPI itself. If we calculating the performance of call center agent, something like this, if this is a KPI, you have a set of variables, and these variables should be integrated in a formula, a mathematical formula, to be calculate the total or overall result. So the KPI formula calculation will help you to calculate the formula. Integration with project server, as I said that we have integration with the EPM solution. Any EPM solution, we can get all the projects from any EPM solution on your premises if you have, or you can use Project 360 tool from Link Development as well. Thank you, thank you, Ihab. I have to jump for another meeting. Okay. Okay, I will share the session record for sure. Does the mobile app, Mrs. Sarah Rifai, does the mobile app has all the functionalities as the web? It's not all the functionality, all view functionality. It's available in the mobile app. You can track any performance part in your strategy parts, but in the mobile app, there is another actions. You can not create a strategy, but you can create a task from the mobile app. Maybe I find something, I find problem inside one of the KPIs. So I can assign a task for one of my team to work on it, or I can set actual value for KPI, or I can find the notifications. So all of this, all of the needed actions that I can do from the mobile, we already do it in the mobile application of Strategy360. Okay, thank you so much. So any other questions we can answer for you? I will share my email address for any clarification or any inquiries that you have. I can answer this. Feel free to send me anytime. Thank you so much for your time today, and I hope to make it again, and you can find the recorded session in the mail as well, inshallah. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Muhammad.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Great session, Muhammad. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Muhammad.